Previously on the Boston by Rail's East Coast Excursion.
After a major train derailment over in Pickens County.
Where my brother and I traveled to Austel, Georgia, a southeast rail fanning gold mine. There's not much you can't do with 12 hot Krispy Kreme donuts to fill you up in the morning. Here we are, fully charged with donuts and hot chocolate, headed southbound on I-85 on the road to Austell, Georgia. And the only thing better than hot Krispy Kreme donuts is when you arrive at your rail fanning location to find a train rumbling by. It's as exciting as that flashing hot sign at the donut store. Now, Austell, Georgia is a town that was built around the railroad. Austell was incorporated in 1885, and the town is named for Civil War General Alfred Austell in recognition of his efforts to bring major railways to the south. Newsflash, this is surely a town that appreciates its rail fans from around the world who stop by for a visit. We found a lush park with benches and roses that is situated right next to the tracks in Austell. It's safe to say Austell embraces its history. A French poet once said, "All roads lead to Rome." That may have been true in ancient times, but today it seems like all railroads lead to Austell. What a busy spot. Here's why. Norfolk Southern's East End district to Birmingham diverges with their North End district from Chattanooga, and all of these trains funnel in and out of Atlanta's Inman Yard. Standing in Austell is a little like watching the donuts being iced one by one at Krispy Kreme. They just keep coming and coming along. I soon heard the distinct whir of a GEVO. Seemingly, here's a westbound Norfolk Southern Intermodal chugging its way through Austell. Notice how the number boards were ripped out at some point. But then there was a break in the action, as always. It was about a 50-minute wait for the next train, which happens sometimes, but that is nothing compared to how long I have to wait sometimes in Boston. Devoted train watchers know that it's a waiting game. It's like sitting in a boat waiting for a fish to bite, except I'd rather have a 200-ton freight locomotive bearing down on me over a fish on the line any day of the week. Suddenly, we got a big bite. While waiting for local G88, we heard a tremendous crash. We frantically looked around, wondering if KC Jones himself had derailed once again. Then we discovered that a semi-truck had given itself a wedgie, if you will, right on the East End tracks. Turns out, Austell police are no strangers to train-related accidents, and they were on the scene fast. Otherwise, the fish just weren't biting like we'd hoped. Finally, Norfolk Southern local G88 heads light to pick up a cut of intermodal cars in Austell's Whitaker Yard, just to keep our sanity.
697 out 89.
G88 continued to tug a long cut of intermodals out of Whitaker Yard, stretching their head end all the way to Austell. KCS, I noticed that we had a southbound coming off the East End district, being blocked by G88. I quickly set up to get a unique shot through the intermodals. Back and forth was the theme of this local. Here they are, shoving their cars backwards. But before pulling into the yard fully and getting out of our hair, they first had to wait for their conductor to set a switch before reversing. Here's the last train of the parade, featuring my first time seeing an SD70 ACE leader. This train featured an odd assortment of intermodals and general freight. Pulling up your lines on a fishing trip is always the time when a huge bass jumps out of the water right by your boat. We were grabbing some chow across the street during what we thought was a dead period, and it turned out to be the beginning of non-stop train action. That's how it always works, isn't it? A crucial aspect of railroad videography is having a variety of shots to offer. Here you will see my pan attempt of an intermodal with a double -9 lash-up. Here's Norfolk Southern 22G with a trio of Union Pacific GEs. A first for me, but not the last. Out of nowhere came NSG-89 with a cool horn and crew, meeting a fast-moving westbound manifest with an SD70 ACE leader. G-89 shows up one last time, heading to Norfolk Southern's Whitaker Yard in Austell with a long cut of intermodal cars. Another East End train appears on the ATCS. This is likely Norfolk Southern 24E. 24E is known for having Kansas City Southern power on a regular basis. Kansas City Southern is in the midst of a big, and at times, contested merger with Canadian National. I can't wait to see how this one turns out. And hey, the Kansas City Southern merger demonstrates the vital importance of freight rail in this new country. Rail is not getting smaller, it's getting bigger. While waiting on another train, I made the observation that Austell was split up between quality, the East End, and quantity, the North End. So far, the East End had the most unique trains, consisting of foreign power and other cool quirks, while the North End has had a way larger quantity of trains, but more everyday average catches. The next train lined into Inman Yard off the North End was a grain train. I'm wondering if this is Norfolk Southern 45R, a grain train to Gainesville, Georgia. If you know the answer, comment below.
Oh, watch out, watch out. Alright, shh. It's on our track.
I'm gonna nominate you for Employee of the Month, William. You got 37697.
Our final catch of the day was an East End train, only proving my point about quality versus quantity. The locomotives on this train consisted of a Norfolk Southern GEVO, a Norfolk Southern SD70 ACC, and a Union Pacific GEVO third out. This train was also the only train of the day to have DPUs. I was not prepared for this, but luckily I was filming. We drove back to Greenville feeling very successful. This trip taught both my brother and I a lesson. You have to be patient in the rail fanning game, and you can't judge the success of a day until the last train has been spotted, and maybe not even then. There just always seems to be something interesting going on around the rails, and Austell was no exception.